Hi, it's us again. I decided to do one more video because he has stuff to say still. And the main thing I want to ask is, what was remarkable about what you were doing with this whole crisis is you did everything ahead of time. You cashed out all the stocks like months ago. I don't know, what is it that you know that we don't know? You also bought food and everything, mountains of everything, like also a month ago, like a month before everybody else started panicking. Like you did all these things that are, there's a number. What else did you do?
Well, I'm not a prepper, so that's,
you bought
that's
a gun,
something to think
like,
about.
So he's done all these things. So now I want to know, what do you think moving forward is going to happen? Because obviously your judgment has been spot on so far. What is your prediction?
Oh man. Well, all those things I did probably just out of sheer luck. It turns out well, and now I'm sitting here on this famous show being interviewed about what I do. Is this live?
No, it's not
Okay.
live.
The virus is a pesky little thing, right? It's
It's a horrible thing.
No, it's not designed. It's by nature exploiting the thing that we as humans do, which is hang out together and be together.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, that's a really cool human thing, but it's also a very vulnerable thing. Good for the virus, bad for us. So I don't think that human thing is going to go away. I don't think the virus is going to go away until we get that golden ring, where there's a certain number of people, that got the immunity, and there's some treatment and preventive measure, whatever, vaccine. So I can expect this to stick around. We Americans are not really good at self-isolation.
Following the rules.
That's good and bad. And I think in general, as a nation, we need to be more focused on the science of stuff, and we're not too good at that. So what that means is this virus is going to take a big chunk out of us and our economy. And over the summer, we'll probably see what appears to be things being managed well, better, more hopeful. And the problem with an enemy that's unseen is you kind of become more complacent. If I always saw the bad guy outside the window, I would always be ready to take care of that situation. But when that enemy is among us and we can't see it and we don't really feel or hear about it, we become complacent again, and then we can expect spikes in infection. So I think quite a few people are going to die. And I think that we are not going to stay at home. We're not going to stay at home, and this thing's going to be around until it's not. And so we'll limp along until then. And, in the end, we'll get through it. But if we're one of those high-risk persons, we definitely don't want to become complacent. We don't want to become a part of these things that may lead to death, right?
It sounds horrible. So you don't have good. So what are you gonna do now?
Well, back to the stock market. I mean, everything that's going on now, there'll be a hangover that comes. So GDP maybe drops by 25%, skyrocketing unemployment claims. No one has money that they've banked, right? So there's going to be, hangover at some point, and it's at the end of that hangover when that's the time to start looking at making investments. If you're running a business, whenever times are good, that's the time to borrow money, right? Because people don't give it to you when you really need it. So if your business is doing well right now, then try to extend those lines of credit. That doesn't mean use them, but try to line up sources of money now that
if you want one of those 3 businesses that are still alive and standing.
Yeah, so I don't know if that answered the question.
So what are you going to do? So you bought the food, so you cashed out all the stocks. You bought the food. You didn't sign the lease for the commercial building.
Yeah,
you bought the gun. What else are you doing?
All the things that I didn't do turned out to be a lucky move, because we need a truck for my business, and we didn't get it.
I know, this is the longest shopping for the truck that I've ever seen, like 6 months, I think.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't pull the trigger on that. We need a showroom. That's been delayed. So there are lots of things that just happened not to do that turned out didn't cost much now that things are going south. So what are we going to do? Our product is selling well now because it's a security product, and when times are bad like this, people are more concerned about security. But things go up, then they go down. So as we're generating money right now, we're just banking that money. And because we'll probably need it at some point, there's going to be a trough.
You should give me some of the money.
I don't know where it is.
I need to look at your bank.
Whenever we hear it all the time, whenever there's chaos, there's opportunity, and it really is true. So, and a lot of well-known companies were born in recession, right? So I think Costco was, Microsoft.
Where is
Nike.
the opportunity right now?
Well, if you can do commercial decontamination, that's huge, right? I mean, think of all those police cars, ambulances, any company that's operational, they need someone to help them keep that place clean.
I don't know. I feel like making cupcakes or something. I just do not feel like doing this kind of business.
Yeah, the thing that's going to happen here is we'll discover that we can do so much more than we realized out of a browser than we were doing in the past brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. So we're discovering now that we can order that food and have it delivered, right? We're discovering we really don't have to go to school. We can get tutoring online. We're discovering we don't have to be at the office. We can actually get the work done remotely. So maybe, one of the upsides is we'll become more decentralized and do what we do through a browser. We can just about live anywhere and do anything, right? And that's a huge fundamental shift. I don't think theaters are going to make it out of this, right? Conventional brick and mortar theaters, no way. So a bunch of businesses like that have traditionally been really slow to change, maybe now they're more accelerated.
Oh, wow. Well, I remember you were doing predictions about technology, what's going to happen. Those were spot on too. That was like years ago. Now that I think about it, you're actually quite smart.
Thank you.
You always keep joking around and acting all silly. But I should talk to you more about this stuff, the world.
And this is a good first trial, mass pandemic with people being able to travel anytime, anywhere. We'll probably see more of these things. Not on a frequent basis, but at least we'll be smarter about them, hopefully, in future. AI continues to play a big role in solving this issue and all the other things that we're looking at.